Loaded into the van, we were completely knackered. We weren't finished yet, though. Before we left the Bradford linen mill, we added a couple of massive wicker baskets and an industrial trolley. We were satisfied it had been a really good call, which is how the antiques trade refers to it when we're asked to show up and look at potential inventory. In one of those places you rarely see. There aren't many linen mills left, but this one is thriving with over 500,000 metres of fabric sold every year, and I'd picked up some quality industrial furniture. Back in the van, I checked my phone while T pulled out alongside a lorry that was hazing us with spray that might as well have come from a hose pipe. My long-term sidekick. I've known T since I was a boy in North Wales, and he's an integral part of the TV show. It had been pissing with rain all week, but that was nothing new. After so many years on the road, we're used to torrential downpours and the motorway flooding. "It's been a decent day, T," I said. "Van's full." He was concentrating on the traffic. "You'll make money on those bins, and I really like that trolley." It had been the best call we've had in a few weeks, and I was encouraged about another factory visit tomorrow. There wasn't much to do, and by the way of restoration on the stuff we'd bought, just a bit of a clean-up, really. An hour later, we left the motorway and found the hotel in Higher Bartle near Preston. A beautiful old place and a far cry from the very first few years on the road when a night away meant the back of the van and a burger from a kiosk and a lay-by. I checked in, dumped my bags and took a long hot shower. After that, I went down to have dinner with the rest of the crew. Tomorrow was Dan's last shoot as director on the show. He was still producing. The soundman Simon Jolly has been with me from the very first day of shooting, and for a long time it's been Sean or Steve wielding the camera. Grabbing a pint, I sat down to update the website, already thinking about tomorrow. That's the buzz, the excitement, the sense of anticipation I have before we arrive at any call. It's the same today as it has been for as long as I can remember, an obsession that shaped my entire life and something I love with a passion. All this was on my mind because I had this book to write and I didn't know where to begin. It was something I discussed with T when we came in from a precarious walk along the road with no pavement, no street lights. He's a year older than me, we're about the same build and cut from the same North Wales slate. We might need another van for tomorrow, he stated. If so, I can sort it, so just tell me about this book then. I looked at him over my glasses. There's not much to tell yet. I really don't know how to get started. Easy, Piccadilly Woods, he said. What? Those old cars hanging in the trees, remember? It must be 40 years since we've been there. I remember how quiet the world was when T and I used to play football on the A470. Growing up in North Wales in the 70s and 80s, there was no mobile phones or social media, and home computers were in their infancy. We made our own fun, and for me that meant turning up what I thought was rusty treasures. From the age of 8, back in 1978, I was obsessed and had a way of finding beauty in things that others saw as worthless junk only fit for the skip. I was always turning up with old bits and pieces of bicycles and some rusty or rusting military hardware. It started when we moved from Llandudno Junction to Glanconway, and I had so much junk piling up my grandmother, Nin, referred to me as a shitehawk, a magnet for crap. I rarely came home without something else that somebody had thrown away. We started scouring the local tip to see what kind of stuff we could salvage. You don't see these tips anymore, but back in the 70s most towns and villages had a local dump where people would toss their old washing machines, bikes or whatever. There was just a few of us lads who used to hang around. Mostly it was me and T. Daz Babs, a big lad who acted tough, was actually a bit of a baby, and another lad called Tid. We roamed Glanconway like a pack of wolves, hunting junk at all hours of the day. Daz Babs and I were obsessed as much as what we recovered came from the Second World War. North Wales is a military area, with RAF Valley on Anglesey and MOD buildings dotted all over. Most had become a dumping ground, and we came up with all kinds of stuff. Gas masks, ammunition cases, knives and bayonets. Daz Babs amassed a huge collection of old bayonets, and lots of older lads had guns from the period they would use to shoot ducks on the river. Glanconway is on an estuary, and another source of junk was the sea. With constant tides, there was always a good deal of debris washing up, oars, old water skis, bits of boat, and we'd comb the beach for anything interesting we could recover. Going to the woods, though that had been a bit of a dare, not a salvage hunt. They were scary, and particularly to an 8-year-old boy like me. It was already getting dark, and we were supposed to be going home, but one of the lads suggested we check them out, so off we went. Daz Babs, Tid, T, and me. A developer had been building a new housing estate that wasn't finished yet, and we picked our way between piles of bricks and scaffolding. Beyond it, the woodland was really